everybody, welcome back. I'm here to show you how to get more screen time because you wanted more screen time. That's what you want with mobile games and Marvel Strike Force in general, is to be on your phone more, staring at that screen for longer amounts of time. I think Scopely made, even though I get it with Mojo, that he is this, screen time ratings thing, it did still stick a little thorn in my heart because I am a person who likes to say, let's decrease the screen time of the game. Let us go out into the wilderness, well, pre-COVID, out into the wilderness to hang out with our fellow brethren, get some outside time, so to speak. But, MSF just keeps you locked up. You got to be on that screen. So anyway, thanks for making it a screen time event. I'm going to do a spreadsheet thing. It's not super complicated, honestly. I'll get to the basics of it, and you could make it simpler or harder doing different mechanics. We're going to look at how the old event was different with the orbs, so we'll definitely touch on that. I don't think it'll upset you, but other than one specific reason. And we'll just look at it. I think it's going to be pretty easy, honestly. I don't think this is going to be very complicated. I don't think it's very hard. I think depending on the type of player you are, you could probably find different ways to do it, but you don't need auto blitz. You can still sim blitz to get there. So let's go through the stuff in the game, and then we'll go through the spreadsheet.
Bring me WolverThor!
So in the game here, let's see, what is it? No, it's in Milestones. So in the Milestones, you guys already know what it says. Screen Champions. So you go here, and we just look through this. There's 45 milestones for this 72,000 points. That's really the big thing here. And everybody's going to want this because, as you can see at the bottom here, this is where you get your Gear 15 uniques that, pretty much everybody, if you're looking to get into Dark Dimension 4, which everyone's going to be wanting to at some point, whether you're in Dark Dimension 3 or Dark Dimension 2, you're going to need these things, and they're very rare. You've got a lot of people refreshing the supply store at 50 cores, 100 cores per refresh. Some doing 200 cores. Some Mega Whales doing more. So you're going to want to get as far down as you can. You can see plenty of other these gold credits. That's pretty solid. This 175 SBCs, you can see I've got 13,000 of these. I'm still like 14 or 15, or no, I think it's 1,600 short of these to get all my characters into Dark Dimension 4. So it's definitely, this is gear that you definitely want to get. So even if you're a newer player, you want to try to finish these milestones. Obviously, these Gear Tier 14 mini uniques, as we call them, it's fine. Beast 5 red, and then you start getting less and less important. These, give me those all day long. I need like 30 of those, so 15 in one spot. Gravitonium, you need that for these two guys. Shatterstar and Longshot, who I personally love a lot. They're great for PvP, which means they're probably going to be good for war. And if there's ever a shift in the arena meta, they're going to be important. And then you get all these little T1 ion fragments, which are, we all need. So the rest of this stuff is purple. And, I didn't even calculate this stuff that shows up into my things. And you can still do a very reasonable amount of rotations per day. So, or these. So that's the stuff that's in game. The scoring on it's real basic. There's 3 different types of orbs. There's the prime time or the orange, the syndicate or the purple, the rerun or the blue. They're each worth a certain amount of points, and that's kind of like, okay, great. So then it's all about, how many of those you open to get all the way down to the 72,000 points, okay? And how do you get the screen time to open these orbs? Because I guess the next technical question is, well, what do you need to open those orbs? It's screen time. So you go to supplies, you go away. We're not talking about offers, we want orbs. So you come down here to the bottom, and that's what you need. You need screen time. Okay, you need 800 to open the orange and 600 to open the purple. I wouldn't touch the blues, and for anybody who's looking, to get, if you're only interested in these resource drops here, you get the same amount in the purple or in the orange as the purple. But my recommendation is get the orange one, this gear that you get in here. Even though it's a really small 5% drop, you want these. Okay, so open these. This stuff's just so hard to get. Just take the 5% chance. I know you're likely going to end up with a 75% chance of all these here, but you still need some of this orange gear anyway. So anyway, let's go over to the spreadsheet. I think you've seen enough in game. You're probably already aware of all that works, but in case you didn't, I wanted to walk through that. So now we're over to the spreadsheet here, and let's zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. I basically took my old spreadsheet that I had for the Chimichanga event. It was this past summer. There were firework orbs. You know, you needed chimmies to, and you got chimmies to open orbs, and you did different things to get chimmies. And there was one other aspect in that we thought might be in this similar event, but isn't. And I'll get to that in a minute, and that's the orbs. So, you know, we've got a 14-day duration here. I've already talked about how many points you've got per orb. So that's pretty simple. So how do you get points? You open the orbs. Total screen time required. It's a 1-for-1 ratio. You saw that when you looked in it. There's honestly nothing complicated on it. I'm only looking at my orange points here and my purple points here. That's it. All right. But I'm really going to focus on the orange orbs because honestly, I think everybody should be opening those regardless if you're a brand new player or not. That gear is so rare, you're going to need it whenever you get to that point. So the next question is, how do you get screen time? Do stuff. Okay, what stuff you need to do? There's energy usage that you can get, and then that's per day, and I'll go over that in a second. And then there's the total over the course of the event. There's the ISO energy that you can get, and then the energy of that over the duration, which is like, okay, perfect. And then you get the daily screen time from each objective, basically. But there's only 3. You get it for the raid, the arena, and the RTAs. Okay, so the per day campaign energy. What we did here is we did 12 energy per hour, 80 free 3 times a day, and then 450 core refreshes at 120 each. Now you'll see in a minute that you might not necessarily need to do those core refreshes if you're short on cores. If you're not, then I highly recommend doing that because that's where you get a core chunk of your screen time from. And then like I mentioned, it's just that number times the amount of days, right? So that's how many you get over the 14-day period. ISO energy, similar situation. You get a little bit more per hour than you do for your regular campaign energy, but you still get the free 3 times a day, and we're still doing the 50 core refreshes for a total of 1,080 per day. And then over the duration, 15,120. Like I mentioned here, we've got 3 different daily objectives. The raid one gives you 400 screen time per day. The other 2, the arena wins and the RTA, you get 200 per day on those. So you get, at that point, this isn't the summation of that. What I'm saying is that after you get all of this stuff, how much more do you need? So I've added up all of these little things here, what you're getting here, and I've taken the 72,000 you need, subtracted what you get here, and said, okay, well, I still need 31,568 screen time after the stuff that I'm basically going to do anyway. Maybe you don't use the 50 core refreshes, but in my opinion, all of this stuff, if you play the game, you're probably already doing it. Again, maybe with the exception of the 50 core refreshes if you don't have those cores, which I think there's ways around that anyway, but we'll talk about that in a second. So you need 31,568 screen time left to be able to finish this event. Then what are you going to do, right? Blitz. Because there's no other way to get this, right? How else are you going to get screen time? Blitz. You get blitz from blitz wins. To make your blitzing easier, what we're going to do here is drop down. Okay, so we are going to actually drop down to make sure that you get more wins. Okay, so we just go through here and take just your trash teams, your lowest of your low. It's a little bit of extra time, but given that there's blitz sim, and given like what we're seeing with how many blitz sims you can do per day and actually still achieve all the milestones, it's nice. So I would recommend doing exactly what you're seeing here as far as, you know, making the blitz easier for yourself. Don't sit up it, and I mean, unless you want cable, you know, and a lot of shards with cable, I just come in here, lose, and then just auto, you know, I try to get down to tier 2, 1 or 2, and then I only have 2 mixed teams that I can kind of play with, and just come in here and I do the same thing. But I like this because it gets me guaranteed wins and keeps me in, though when I did this earlier, there was a time where I think I lost in tier 6 or something like that. So, you know, it can be a little problematic. Especially like a floating hand. A floating hand can be problematic. But anyway, so to make your blitzing easier, do this. Once you get down to, like I said, I don't know, tier 2 or whatever is reasonable for you, then just go through the blitz sim. You know, set your alarm. I'll set my alarm here probably. Let's see, I'll probably get through a couple teams here. And then I will set my 2-hour alarm just to make sure. I could probably, I mean, in theory, I could set it right now, right? Because it's like, well, you should never catch yourself. But I just like to give myself a little bit of leeway. Just in case something like this happens where it's like, all right, it's a little lag and then loading the game or whatever. But, you know, it gets me going. So once I get to this next battle, I will, and then this is the point where it's loading, I'm setting my alarm. So I'm going here, I pull up my phone, I do 1 hour and 59 minutes, start. And then so 2 hours from now, I know that, you know, I'm going to for sure lose, and I'm good. It's like, great. All right, cool. I got this. Now from here, I just go through and sim everything, okay? So that way I get a little bit more guarantee of the wins. We know if you sim a blitz win, you get 22. And if you manually win a blitz win, what is it? 36. So manually or auto it, you get 36 screen time per blitz win. But right now we're going to do the lower one, 22, because we want to see where that's at. So blitzing, and you'll see a lot of this stuff down here, which I'll get to. I even have this chimmy stuff. I'll get into all that in a second. So you get the blitz. So, okay, if I get 22 blitz screen time per blitz win, per sim blitz win, that means I need, you take this number divided by the points per, and you get, I need 14,335, I'm sorry, 1,435 blitz wins required total. I know I got 14 days left for the event, right? I just go over here and the days I got left. So that means I need 103 blitz wins per day. That doesn't, at first maybe that seems like a lot, but it's not. So if you're assuming 20 rotations per day, 20 win per day, rotations per day, which I think is pretty doable, then you're talking about 5 rotations a day, and that's it. And shout out to Ken Chiron with the raid in the middle of the video. We're shooting a video. It's going to be in the YouTube video now. We're just talking about this screen time event. So shout out to you. So rotations per day with 20 wins, you only need 5. It means you need to be awake for 10 hours a day to do that. That's all you need to finish this, which means that's all you need. That is all you need to get through all of these milestones. That is it. That's it. You want that? That's what you got to do. Okay? So to get through all of those milestones, that's what we're talking about. 5 rotations a day at 20 wins. Now there's, again, I mentioned up here that if you don't want to do the 50 core refreshes, then maybe you need to do more blitz wins. All right, do more blitz wins. Did I calculate exactly how many? No, honestly I didn't, because I was like, this is so little. I was like, this is super easy. You know what I mean? So you got to make up for, and actually, you know, let's just do that real quick. Just for you, 67, 65, because I think you mentioned not having the cores. We'll just take it out right now. In the middle of the video, we're going to see. So if you take those out, if you don't core at all for those, then you need a little bit more blitz wins required. You need a little bit more wins per day. You need 7 rotations. You need to be up for 14 or 15 hours. That's a little bit tougher, maybe? I don't know. But if it's not, do it. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not accounting for some free energy you get from the milestones. It's not a lot. It's a little bit, you know, but it's something. And then on top of that, you can whale. You can buy some offers. That's really it. Now, the part that I want to touch on that people were kind of wondering about before. So I took my chimichanga template that I had before, because what was happened with that one is we also had orbs we could open to be able to get towards these milestones. And that's what they took out this time. You didn't get any of these things, any of these points or chimichangas from opening orbs. But the truth is we don't need them for this event. It only hurts us because we all wanted to open our orbs for an event, and we're not getting it here. So fingers crossed, maybe they do something in January or February that isn't for an event like this, because honestly, this event's not too bad given what we got. I think it's pretty simple. It's not a lot of blitzing. I'm sim blitzing. I'm not doing more than this. Anything more than this, it is purely to open those orbs. And I'll end with saying, you know, or kind of like go out on saying, do you want to? Maybe. I mean, look, if you're really, really desperate for some of these things, okay, fine. But I want to remind everybody what these drops are. So you get the, you know, this isn't fine. Okay, fine. But we're not opening it for this stuff, right? So left pillar, we're not opening for that. Let's check the right pillar because, you know, that's probably the same. That's close. We get some more orange gear, great, but nothing special. It's the T13 stuff. We got some mini uniques in here and some regular orange gear. Okay, so what's in the center? So am I going to grind for the center for 75% drop rate for the same thing that's on the left and right? I've got a 75% chance to get this. Add 20 to get 2 T4s. So I've got a 95% chance to get some regular orange gear or a T4, and a small 5% chance rate to get a Gear 15 unique. So are you going to spend a bunch of time outside of the stuff that I just laid out to have a 5% chance per orb to get one of these? One. Me, I'm not. I want to get Dark Dimension 4. I want to get Doom. I want to get Gear Tier 15. Yeah, I do. But I'm not going to go there and just grind nonstop and blitz nonstop and auto blitz and not sim blitz. I'm going to keep my sim blitz. I'm going to get what I'm going to get and let whoever else, you know, look, I try to manage my burnout with the game. And if you go too much, too long, eventually you're going to burn out. We're all human, right? So that's what I got for this. I think I covered everything. I'm sure chat's telling me right now everything I'm forgetting, everything I'm screwing up. So I'll catch up on that in a second and see how bad I did. So anyway, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Hammer down that like button, click that notification bell, subscription button, and all that stuff. Link to the Discord in the description below. And I'll probably link the spreadsheet unless I forget, which I might. I don't know. We'll see. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.